Welcome to the Checkmat podcast.
Joe Rogan does that.
Just jump right into it, eh?
I guess. Okay, so welcome back. Do we want the fan on? Will it hear the fan?
I do want the fan.
I do want the fan.
It's
too.
nice. It's nice.
It is.
Just leave it.
Welcome back, guys. This is episode 4 of the Checkmat podcast. I still want to come up with a name and say whatever by Checkmat or something.
Yeah.
But Curtis, your host, I guess, and we got Joey, Achilles.
So,
What up?
I don't know. I was thinking about we were talking about this yesterday, how like what it means to be good.
Oh shit.
Right? That's a big thing for me, right? Because it's like I've only been training for not super long, but I don't even know what that means, right? Like 2-3 years, I guess. We could round to 3 with all the little bits since I started, right?
Yeah.
But only serious in the last 2, maybe. And then people say like, yeah, like, you're really good, or whatever that means, right? Like guys like Chris, right? Or like even Hardeep, right? He's like, oh, I don't know why you don't fight, man, and stuff like that. But at the same time, then like some guys come in and they're like, they don't tool me, but I'm just like, like Radley or something. And I'm just like, I know Radley's really good, and that's not a bar but like to compare myself to. But also, it's like you look at guys in the UFC or in Glory, and I'm like, I don't know how I stack up to that, right? And then there's also the like matchups, right? Like I don't do very well against like long guys, for example, right? Like longer, taller guys. It's just all these things that I think about, right? Like, what does that mean? Like, I'm good, like.
it's like the guy who just came in, like that new guy who you sparred.
Yeah, so some guy came in from. He said he used to go to the Old Dynamic. Super nice guy. He like lives in Taiwan or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, his name is Roger. That's his name.
Yeah.
And then and he kept his long stiff jab out, and I was having trouble with it. But I know that's something that I've always had trouble with. Like there's that guy lightweight, right? Like I have trouble with his range. One of Achilles' in his boxing class, there's this guy that's kind of tall, and he has the same thing, like a stiff long jab. That's something I've always had trouble with. But I don't know, does that mean like I'm bad? You know what I mean? Like I'm good against certain guys. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. What do you guys think?
You can practice on that at Rubik's Cube. You know what I mean? Like you're throwing like this unknown guy at you that you've never seen, that you've never gone with. I think that's as real as it gets. You know what I mean? Does that mean you're bad? No. Does that mean you're great? No. It's just, it's a challenge that you got to try and overcome, right? It's like, I look at everybody as a puzzle, and how quick can you figure out that puzzle? You know? And like with terms of good, I think a big factor is like, who are you training with, right? How big is the pond that you're swimming in? You know what I mean? Like whenever I went to Universal with Dan, he like before my fight, he was just like, you swim with sharks all day. What's it going to be like when you jump into like a regular pool, right? Like, so what is good? You could be a big fish in a small pond, right? Or you can be super shitty in like a room full of sharks. Just means you're not as good as those sharks, but you can be a killer when it comes to the other guys, right? By no means am I saying you're shitty. Fuck. No, you're a bad dude. But in terms of good, like, it's hard to say, right? Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, I was listening to Joe Rogan and GSP, and then GSP was saying that too. He's like, there's no such thing as like the strongest guy, right? Because it's like matchups, right? He's like, this guy might beat this, like in a triangle of 3 guys. This guy will beat this guy beats that guy.
Yeah.
It's like, who's the better man, right? And also like the day of, like if the fight took place like an hour later, or like how you're feeling that day, what you ate that day, how much sleep you got, all that stuff is like, it changes, right? And we talked about this, like you were saying how there's only good days and bad days. And I thought that was really interesting, right? And I think it's also like my mindset when I go in, like I'm also very like respectful too, like we talked about that.
Yeah,
like
sparring guys, like I think like you were saying, sparring guys like the first time you get to spar someone, it's like it says a lot, right? Like it says a lot. He'll figure out a lot about you, you'll figure out a lot about him, but it's nice because you don't know their tools. Like here, like we spar with the same guy so often, like we know kind of. Like right away when we go, and it can sometimes get a little bit stagnant if there's not that many guys. That's why like it's important to have like a lot of sharks, right? Not just 1 or 2. But that I've also felt like when you were sparring, it was like it's like I watched it. I was at the side watching the whole time. It's kind of like slowly, I was like quietly creeping it. But it looked like you were being just really polite about not. Remember we talked about it's like in the round. It's like, are you thinking about like what are you even thinking about? Like, are you thinking about winning the round,
Yeah.
Or you think you're just hitting the guy? Are you practicing? You know what I mean? It's like your
Yeah.
mentality when you spar. But usually when you go with a guy for the first time, I feel like the mentality is to win the round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that.
Yeah, so you don't, and
Yeah.
if you immediately don't have that,
I'm just playing the game.
Yeah,
That's what I think about. It's like I'm playing the game. It's like a video game. I'm
Yeah.
just playing.
you're like 99 lives, let's try stuff out.
Yeah, that's exactly. So that's what he's saying when I play Smash Bros. The way I practice Smash Bros, I put 99 lives on my guy and the computer, and I just keep playing. And that's kind of how I feel like a lot of times, even when I'm sparring normally, too, right? But it's like when I'm sparring, depending on the situation, like, you know, when you guys need me for like a fight camp or something, you need me to Shark Tank or whatever, then it's different.
Yeah.
Then I feel like, oh, I need to be more on point. I can't just dick around, right? Because
Yeah.
I need to pressure you because that's what you're looking for, because that's what the fight camp is meant for. And then Hardeep was saying, and this makes sense to me too, is like, I've heard this other places where if you're preparing for a fight, you should maybe go to different gyms and fight different people. It's kind of like mirroring that experience of like you're going to an unfamiliar place, sparring people or fighting people that you have no idea what their tools are for the first time, right? And I think that's like a really interesting, like, it sets you up for the fight, right?
I honestly think that's like one of the biggest tests. Because when I was like, I've only done the one fight camp ever, but I was like between Checkmat and Universal, and being able to hang with like, I don't know, the J equivalents, you know, like maybe like the Radley equivalents at these other gyms.
They're
You know
higher,
what I
they're
mean?
Jolene.
Yeah, like they're higher level dudes,
Yeah.
and it's just you really do find your place. And I do think like being able to test your skills against like another gym's skills, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that we're better than them or they're better than us, but it's like you're going with these high level guys that have this totally different style. It's like, okay, maybe I didn't win, maybe I didn't lose, but that tells me that I am good. Like I'm a competitor, right? We're equals, you know what I mean? And in my eyes, that means you're good. You might be good here, but you got to prove yourself that you're good there, right?
That's like the savage thing about fighting too, is like one person is better. There's no like right?
There is a winner and there
is a winner and there's a loser. It's like bright and day, right? It's
Because I think about, like, there is, but also it's like there's so many parameters that you don't think about. Like when I think about time limit, for example, right? Like if there's like a 1 minute round, right? Or like a 30-second round, or like what if it's a 10-second, you know, versus like 12 3-minute rounds of boxing, right? Like you're gonna fight very differently versus these like whatever 2-minute rounds or something.
Depends mentality, like, right? Like, okay, like, so sometimes when you go with new guys, or okay, when I go with new guys, if I went to Universal and just kind of know, or whatever gym it was, I would be like, okay, I'm like high damage, no hits, like nothing's landing. Like that would just be my mentality, right? Like,
Wait, say again.
nothing's landing. Like for them, you know what I mean?
Like, I see
I'm
what
not
you're
taking
saying.
any. I'm not gonna let him land a jab.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let him get anything.
Can't touch me.
Like as soon as he inches in, I'm gonna punish him for moving in unprotected. You know what I mean? Like just for my sake, even just to kind of, you need to flex that. I remember a long time ago. I remember who I think it was like Nabil was saying, he's like, there's nothing wrong with just like in grappling, for example. There's nothing wrong with like smashing out a white belt, like a guy who comes in and just fucking take him down, go to side, step on top, triangle, right? Like just have your way, right? Because if you can't do that to someone who's untrained, how are you ever going to do that to somebody who's good? You know, you need to know your path of how to break someone down. Right? That's important. And then the other thing I was saying about being good, it's like it's universal. That's no pun intended on universal, but like when you go there, like you can't hide being good or bad. Like if you go there and you dummy their top guys, there's a good chance if you go to another gym, you'll probably dummy their top guys. And like you said, like so like when it's, oh, am I good, or what is being good? Like there is a very definite truth to being good in martial arts. Right. Like if you're very good one way, you're gonna, like around the world, you're gonna be good. If you're a good boxer here, you're probably gonna be a good boxer there. But the one thing I was saying is like, but it's like wanting to find that truth, like right, because that's what it is. Like being good is like how many more truths have you found? You know what I mean? The jab, counter, cross, leg kick, grappling, closing in versus when to create space, right? If you have all of those things, you definitely are good or you aren't as good. You know what I mean? It's very. I feel like it's really clean cut. So like when I was thinking about those things, that's why I was like, when you go over there, when you went over to Universal and you do well with some of their top guys, of course you would, because you train with the best guys that we have here. You know what I mean? like I said, now that we have like guys locally on the local scene who've made it to UFC or higher, and like, or even some of us have been out and kind of trained in the States or whatever it is with guys who are coming in from other parts of the world. Like now we have a really good idea. It's like, okay, like we're not just doing the stuff we see on TV. Like you know what I mean? It's not that anymore. It's like we're innovators now.
Yeah.
We're figuring out our own truths.
Yeah.
And creating our own truths. Right? So I just want to say that like I really credit the shit we're doing, and I don't know, and that gym too for sure. Universal guys are great. The Air guys are great.
It's
I
awesome.
feel like you should go to Universal more too.
No, I
I
should.
feel like you should go to
really
different
want to.
gyms more. I feel like. Yeah.
Yeah, Universal's like really good hub because right between us and the Sound and a bunch of guys from District Warrior come there. And that's a big striking gym right downtown.
Yeah.
And
I don't even know that one.
District
There you
Warrior.
go.
yeah, District Warrior flies under the radar, man. Like,
There's a lot of those.
It's crazy because I remember that was like in the fight camp. There's a couple guys from District Warrior. I didn't know who they were. They all wore these like crazy Muay Thai shorts, and like they're all different people, right? But they're all like these skinny, tall, like Muay Thai bodybuilder kind of guys. But they were nuts, right? Like hard.
Yeah, I heard they
kicks.
just go super hard.
Yeah,
with,
they
like,
go
kicks and,
hard, like really hard.
Well, remember I was telling you like how like leg kicks or like the truth about leg kicks.
Yeah.
Like not many people like are kicking as hard as we should be kicking. That's just what comes to my head. Like have you been kicked by someone who actually learned how to like end fights with leg kicks?
Yeah.
It's different.
nuts.
Yeah, you're like, okay, now I understand why I have to address this a little more. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
some guys don't, but I heard that those guys when they throw their kicks they have bad intentions.
All bad intentions.
But it's probably the best way. It's even better for your partner because you learn that like 2 or 3 landed leg kicks can change everything.
Yeah.
Right? Like everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Having guys like that, different village, right?
Well, totally
Bunch of
different
villages.
village, man. It's so cool. I love that about this sport, man. And like being able to go to these different gyms. Like recently, I just went to the Sound, and their big thing was switching stances, but being fluent off both stances. Off like one combination will have like 3 changes of like southpaw, orthodox, back to southpaw, or orthodox, southpaw, orthodox, and it's like.
But we don't even think about it like that.
Yeah, but it's like, no, this is just natural. Like, why shouldn't you be fluid on both sides, right? So that was super cool. And then, like, you go to Universal, and they're very, like, in my opinion, they're very strong. Like, hard shots, kick, switch knee. They incorporate the knees, like, very well. And then us, I think, smooth, like, footwork. Like, perfect that footwork, angle changes, like sniper style. You know what I mean?
Finesse.
Yeah, total finesse. And like I take pride in that. That's I hold
We're like
that
snipers.
hard.
We're like snipers.
Yeah,
right?
totally, man. We're like snipers. Like compared to all these other places, like that's what I've picked up. Even when I went to China, like for that little period of time training in China, it was like
Where did you train in China?
Tiger something. It was like their little
Tiger
MMA
Muay
gym.
Thai?
Not Tiger
No,
Muay
it
Thai.
wasn't. It was like Tiger something. It was like a super cool gym. Like it's funny because it's like obviously Chinese owner, but all the instructors are Filipino, except for like the boxing coach who's like a former Olympic women's boxer, and like super cool. But like I was hanging with like their top guys. It got to the point where I wasn't allowed to train in their class.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought I was in trouble. So I went there on my birthday, and they're like, the day before my birthday I went, and then on my birthday they're like, yeah, you can't do that class. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, what did I do? They're like, no. Go with those guys in the ring. Did I not tell you about this?
No.
Tell us the whole story.
So yeah, okay. First day I go, and I was super excited to go. Me and Jessica hit it up, and I just did their boxing class, and we're just sparring, and one of the guys started to turn it up. I'm like, okay, this is cool. Like, let's turn it up.
Yeah.
And like, I got some footage of it too. I was boxing him, and I was literally just picking him apart, right, and just touching him up.
Was he their instructor or just?
No, he was just one of
okay.
their. In my opinion, he was one of their higher level guys in that class.
Okay.
And it was super cool, but the thing was, it's like, if I'm being honest, it started to really turn up.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where it was like, it wasn't a black eye, but it was like I blew up a blood vessel in his face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was like, I think it was honestly because I
Those
was
like
hitting
little
him.
bumps. Those little, those bumps.
Yeah,
like,
but it
big
was
bump,
almost like varicose veins popped out of his face.
Oh, okay.
It was weird, but like no bad intentions. Like he was going hard, I was, going at the same speed, and but I was way heavier than him at the time, right? I just was, but he was game. That was the coolest part. So, but everyone watched. You know what I mean? When there's a
Yeah.
hardcore round
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on, everybody watched. And then at the end, everyone was like super stoked. There was no time limit. It was just like,
Oh,
just
yeah,
go.
just go.
Just go.
It's like old school shit.
Yeah, it was super cool. It was a lot of fun. I had a blast. But then the next day, I show up, they're like, no, you can't do this. I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I'm sorry. And then they're like, go in with those guys. And I'm like, okay. Let's see a couple, Chinese dudes in the ring. And I go to them like, Joey. And they're like, oh, hey, man, what's up? I'm like, whoa, English. And they're like, where are you from? He's like, oh, I'm from California. He trains at like Black House. Or whatever.
I think maybe Black House.
Yeah, I think it's Black House where like Gastelum and I think Anderson Silva train whenever they're there. I was like, oh, that's crazy. And he's like, yeah, I used to fight in the UFC. I'm like, what? And he was on the Ultimate Fighter China. And I was like, whoa, I've never.
I didn't even know there was.
Yeah, that's what I said. And he's like, yeah, most people don't.
Yeah.
And he's just like, it was just for like,
It's for us.
yeah, UFC Macau. Like that's where they fought.
Yeah.
But it was super cool, man. The other dude was from Norway, and he was like Chinese, but Norwegian Chinese.
So they put you in the international pool?
Yeah, they put me in the international pool, and they were like lighter weight guys. But I was like, my stand-up could totally, I could flow with these dudes, right?
Yeah.
So in my opinion, like touching all the way back to like, are you good? It's like shit, we're world class in my opinion. If I were to put a map on like these spots to hit for MMA gyms, Checkmat Vancouver's one of Canada's best ones. The only other one I can think of is like TriStar. You know what I mean? Like these are the two that really pop up in my head. TriStar Montreal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say
Let
that.
him know.
I gotta OG TriStar.
OG, yeah. Yeah, no, but like I think part of the reason too is that we get the other local guys, like for example, like Saturdays.
Yeah.
Like people know about our Saturdays. Like if somebody's in fight camp locally and we have a good connection with them, there's probably some crazy shit going down at our gym on Saturday.
Yeah.
Right? Like some people are breaking emotionally and mentally and breaking through blocks. It's crazy, right? Like that's a big part of it. Like even the other day I was thinking about one of my friends before back in like he plays hockey. It's actually similar. He's like he's like hockey made me realize how much I have to actually tap in into my emotions to play well. And I'm like, that's fucking true. Like that's very true. Like sometimes you break at a certain point where you even feel like physically, like your body feels like you can't anymore. Like, I don't know if you wrestled, you must have driven with your legs to the point that like you're like, I can't actually take another step and drive. Like there's so much acid buildup. Yeah. Like everything in my body is telling me to stop.
Yeah.
And then you just need something irrational to force you to keep going. Yeah. Or like
irrational?
Yeah. Irrational.
Yeah.
Irrational.
I find that in wall work. Like if someone has you like on the wall just hitting you, you just gotta like you have to dig deep. You gotta be like, you're gonna get your lunch money taken right now. Like you're gonna die.
Do it right now, right? And and that's a crazy thing because I thought about that. It's like that's why some days when you need to push hard, like it's important to be there, to really be there mentally. Because like sometimes if you tap into those emotions when things in your life aren't in the best place, you can get lost a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just, I mean, that's like on some darker side of MMA, but I mean, everyone knows this. Everyone that trains and has trained through hard parts of their life or when things aren't the best or has had to train too hard. Because, there's a lot of people, work's not very good right now, I'm just going to stop training so I can work more. But then there's people whose work is fighting and training, so it's like, okay, I need to fight. If I don't fight, I make no money. Yeah. Right? So, and I was just thinking about that the other day because it's true. Sometimes you come in, you need to make sure you're sound, right? Because like sometimes you really need that push. And at our gym, I think there's guys who are down to take it there, right? But
do you think this is something you can teach, or do you just have to find out on your own? Because in my experience, I had to figure it out on my own.
No, I don't think that can be taught.
No.
I think it's different for everyone too.
Yeah. You can be explained the concept of it, the concept of really going down and going into your mind. How at a certain point the pain becomes like meditation. Yeah. Or the exhaustion becomes a meditation point where you're like almost need to detach your mind from your body to be like I can keep going. Yeah. Right? Like but many people don't ever hit that place because they don't even have enough skill or conditioning to really or not even drive, right? So I think you can explain that concept, but for somebody to actually get there, it's like they would need to want it for some reason. Yeah. They would need to want right? Because there's a lot of
Yeah.
times like you see people give up. Like when some guys get really tired,
Yeah.
they get taken down, they let the guy get him out, and they just cover up and they're like, okay, ref, fucking stop it.
Yeah.
You see that with some
Yeah,
guys. You see
they
that with
find
some
a way
professional
out.
fighters. You see with people who get beat up for the first time, or like they need a way out. But then there's some people that don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Or like it just that feeling of being
Not an
defeated,
option.
it just it makes them rage, you know.
Yeah.
Like, and to see for those people, they learn it faster,
Oh, yeah.
right? But the other people, they probably maybe through that feeling, are like, okay, that was kind of scary, or that was
Yeah.
kind of trippy. But then they slowly over years, they kind of train and learn, and like they build the tolerance for when they really give up. And then there's the guys that like almost don't give up until they're actually broken. They need to be broken for them to actually stop,
Yeah.
or killed. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like
I think you have to have a fine line because there's like you have to be smart about it in this game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And like, because I look at it as a sport. I know a lot of guys come from a background where it's like, yo, this isn't a fucking sport. I'm gonna beat your ass. But me, I look at it as I'm going to win. I don't want to hurt you, but hurting someone is an outcome of winning.
Yeah.
And that's actually how I think about it a lot of the time. Don't get me wrong, there are some times where I'm like, yo, I'm gonna fucking grind this dude out, put pain on him.
In general.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, just like, I just want to win.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
in order to win, an outcome may be you have to get hurt. But there are some guys out there that are like, I look at it as a sport, man. I don't want you to push that boundary of getting hurt.
yeah.
But you gotta find that, like what are you willing to do to not get fucked up?
Because I was listening, so again, I was listening to that GSP. Like GSP was saying how, for him, it's like it was interesting for him to say this. He's like, fighting isn't life because he likes all kinds of other things,
Yeah.
right? So the way he explains fighting is that it's, and you've said this too, it's autopilot, right? So you have to train the things that you're going to train that you're going to do in the fight so much that when you're in the fight, you just do.
Just you like let go.
Yeah, you just do it. You just react. You see something, you react. You just do it, right? And for him, I think, and this when you'd probably expect this too, is he probably thinks it's just a sport too. It's more of a sport than it is like, you know, like a dog fight in the streets or something, right? Which is more like when you see the Diaz brothers, right? For them, it's just a brawl.
Yeah.
Right. It's just all out brawl. They like need. That's how they get in the fight. They get there. They like, you know, kind of like hit me kind of thing, or like head bang, like that kind of thing, right? And I think that's really
Bang, bro.
Yeah.
Let me bang.
bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think that's really interesting because like even me, like I know like it doesn't, you know me, like I try to keep my I don't know, I just don't weirdly I just don't associate my emotions so much with fighting. For me it's like fun. It's like a fun video game. I feel like I'm playing a video game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not like that, and then that's why I said it, like I don't know if I have what it takes to like fight professionally or like all that stuff, like compete and whatever, because I just don't take it there in my head, right? When we're sparring, like, you know, like you catch me, I laugh because it's like, oh, that was sick, like sick shot, like cool.
Yeah.
Right, but that's like a different way, right? And I don't know if that fits into like a competitive.
No, for
scene,
for sure
you
it
know what I
can,
mean?
especially for the fact that like UFC is a sport, like right, like doing MMA, that it's a sport. UFC, it's like it's a professional, right? It's not life or death. It's you know what I mean. It's controlled, but I feel like it's the emotions that come around sometimes, not all the time, but especially in training.
But being able to like control it, because I think of like, so when I get caught, when I do feel a little bit like, I shouldn't have got hit by that.
Yeah.
I know like I don't channel it well. Like I'll do, like Hardeep said this in his interview too, I saw, where he's just like, I just kind of tunnel vision and come forward, right? And I kind of do that sometimes. I'll just come forward and try to smash a little bit, but like I know that's not the best way to channel, right? But
Random question: when like let's say someone catches you with a good shot, do you get angry about it? Do you get frustrated? Like
I only get annoyed at myself. I'm like,
Do you?
you should have, like that was such a, you know, like.
I get frustrated if I knew the person threw that shot with frustration.
Oh
and
yeah.
landed it.
Yeah.
It's strange.
that's-
It's strange.
no, I agree.
I'll be honest.
I agree.
Yeah.
If
I
I was
agree.
like, okay, right, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
like, and then then all of a sudden becomes more interesting. Now I want to land a shot just as, you know what I mean? Now I'm like,
I find a lot of the time, like if it's just like, for example, when we went that hard round that one day, and you had the one arm switch stance bang.
yeah,
I was like, I'm watching, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yo, that's fucking sick.
Yeah.
By no means was I upset about it. Even in the fight, I was like,
what happened kind of thing.
yeah, I was like, yo, that was pretty sweet. Like, it's rarely unless, it's going to sound bad, unless it's a really new guy,
yeah,
like new guy to the gym, and he like pulls some crazy shit on me, I'm like, okay, now I got to turn it up a bit. Like, if I'm being honest with you, now I got to actually have assert a little bit of dominance here. But most of the time I'm just like, yo, that's sweet. Like, because I don't know, I'm a fanboy when it comes to that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they're throwing with bad intentions, it's like, okay, it's game on now.
Yeah.
So, no, I was just curious, like, because some people just get mad with every shot they take.
Yeah.
And other people don't give a shit at all, right?
Yeah.
So,
With the guys in the gym, I'm super relaxed. I'm super chill. With the guys I know, with people I train with, I really don't give a shit anymore. Like, they can punch me, land the biggest shot, and be like happy for that. Happy for you guys. Like, oh, you guys caught me so nicely. Like, shit, that was like a sick, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, if there's a new guy, for sure, it carries a little bit more because obviously, because it means a little more too, because it's like it's like new things, so you're trying to stay safe.
it's at a Rubik's cube thing. Oh, you figured me out too fast.
Yeah.
Like, that
I think it's like, imagine how strange it would have to be for you to go with a new guy first time at anything and just not care.
Yeah.
Right? To not care about that matchup at all. Like, it's always interesting going with someone for the first time, right? Because sometimes they might surprise you.
Totally.
Right? So I don't know.
I think there's always that thing about like looking like, remember that time like you caught me with that really good kick in your it was some Shark Tank, or we were doing something, and it was the one that not that one.
Like,
that one was sick though. I like that one. That one was sick.
Yeah.
But before that there was one where I blocked it, but then he still gave me a black eye because it's still.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then that one didn't bother me so much about taking the kick. It was that like everyone was watching. Like, that was the thing, right?
It's like the pride
like,
thing?
Yeah, like everybody saw me take a direct I mean, like I blocked it, but it's still like everybody's ooh. It's like everyone's like ooh, and you're like, fuck, right? Like I don't even mind. Like that was a sick kick, that was fine. But it's just like knowing that everybody saw it, and it's kind of like I talk about this like in, I don't know, you don't watch this anime, but in Kuroko's basketball, there's this point where he's like the ace guy, right? He's like the best guy in the team, right? And then they're losing though, right? And then like the other team just scored a basket, and everybody's kind of like, oh shit, like is he like losing it? Is he not there? Like what's happening, right? And then it goes in his head, and he's like, why do you guys all have this fucking worried look and shit? Like what the fuck? Like because he got a foul. Right? And it's like, well, it's like his last foul. He has one more. He's out of the game. Yeah. So they're like, why are you guys so worried? Like what's everybody worried about? Yeah. Right. And I feel like that's such an emotion that you can get in sports, right? It's like, yeah, he caught me with that jab, but you think I'm like. Like, you think I'm done? You think I'm out? Like, why you guys make such... You know, when you get hit with somebody, it's like, ooh.
Yeah. That's so funny. I know that exact. Like, and I let the guy know, too. Like, the last time, like, what that makes me think of is, like, last time I had one of those, I think was when I went to go help Josh prepare for one of his fights, like Josh Johnsey, WKS, when we were sparring. I just remember it was, like, closer to one of the last, like, the later rounds that we did. Yeah. We did a couple rounds. He was tanking and stuff, but he threw, like, a right... like a high kick with his right leg, and I think it was just out of range. I faded a little bit, but just like his foot, like the last bit of his foot, like skimmed off the top of my forehead. Yeah, and it made like a slap noise, but I really didn't feel anything too much at all. Yeah, and then there was a lot of people watching around. Like there was like a lot of I think the guys were just to train, but because of like fucking the type of crazy shit that me and him were throwing down and moves we were making, like
for one thing to land out of all that stuff, for one thing to land, right?
Yeah. So when that happened too, like I was like, as soon as it landed too, I'm like, it got me just excited because I'm like, no, I'm still good, like like I didn't feel shit, so like I moved forward with that, because sometimes that happens too, even if a guy lands something and if you don't feel, you're just like, it almost gives you that boost.
Yeah, it totally does.
Yeah, that's a thing, right?
But it's when people watch though, but you almost want the crowd to know too. Yeah, it's like, no, I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I'm good. Like,
I forgot who I was sparring. But I remember we were sparring in my favorite square right by the benches, and Arjun's chilling on the stairs, and me and some guy were going.
Yeah, Arjun's always good.
Yeah, he's always hyping something
always
up.
Hyping it.
And like, what's it called? I threw something, and Buddy punched me, and it was like, I didn't get knocked out or anything, but it put me on my butt. Like, it just knocked me off balance. Yeah. And I got up, he's like, yo, did that guy just drop Joey? Yo, Joe, you just got dropped? I'm like, just shut up, like stop, man. And then I was just like, in my head, I'm like, I want to remember who I was sparring, but in my head, I'm like, I'm sorry. And I just turned it up as hard as I could on Buddy. And I'm like, you don't deserve this, but I have to. It's for my honor.
Arjun was watching.
Yeah, Arjun was watching.
He hyped it up too.
Yeah, I'm like, you didn't do this.
It's not your fault.
I love you, man.
That's so funny.
But yeah, man.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, spectator sport, right?
So being good is
being good.
That's a big thing though. Like how I always think about that. How they're like, oh, some guys in the gym are like way better in the gym, but they're not as good when they perform, versus like some guys are really good at performing, but they're just not as good in the gym for some reason.
Yeah.
But they need that like spectators or like that like the spotlight. They need
glory.
the build
The
up.
pressure and
The pressure, yeah.
Some people really they need the pressure.
Yeah, I feel like you're like a good performer. Like, and actually, watching both of you, like with Joey's first fight too, like remember when Joey walked out?
Yeah.
He was like pacing, and then okay, good. Like you just accepted it, walked out. Good, we're going, we're doing this.
That's what I told you. Like,
right? That's what you look like. It was
Yeah.
good. It felt good to see that. And I was like, okay, he's good. He's fucking laser focused.
I
He's
told
good
you
to go.
when all the shit was going down, like all those emotions were kind of like roller coastering.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
It was actually funny, but because like I was just I was so chilled because like I don't know why. Like I told you, I knew you were gonna win. I'm like, you're gonna win. It's fine. Like you're prepared.
Yeah.
You're really prepared for this fight. And but when when I was upstairs with you and I was like chilling, I remember telling you like all those things that we've done. It's like when you go in, it's almost like there's an alternate like personality inside of you that's gonna deal with it.
Yeah.
Like you as soon as you go out, it's almost like, especially for your first fight too, like you kind of almost like black out.
Yeah.
It depends. Like I actually remember my first fight, like after the first round, because it made it to the second round, I believe, the one that.
It's at least second.
James LePage. That
No,
It was Andy.
Andy Marinos.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that was a big one with like the big crowd and cameras, everything. That was the first
High
time I
school.
ever performed. I was in high school, like 17.
Yeah.
It was the first time I ever like even. I didn't even have a Tiger Bomb tournament. I didn't even have
just
like.
did it.
I just did one of those fights with like cameras and like ring girls that walk you out and everything, right? And so when I fought him, I just remember the adrenaline was insane.
Yeah.
And I even think that you did a better job of dealing with adrenaline in the fight, But I just knew, I'm like, yeah, like all the stuff we've done and you've been through so many reps, like trust your like, it's like your fighter personality, or like
Right.
because it's gonna take over. Like trust your instincts. It's like how like when that guy shot in, when you were down after that one shot, like whatever it was, you shot in on his. We didn't ever say like our thing was like, wait, don't wrestle this guy.
Yeah.
Right? Or like don't try to just grapple him. But in that situation, for sure, you knew like, well, he's chasing in, he's off balance. I'm lower, I'm in a shot position. I can, or even when you hit him one time, you rocked him back into the cage, and when you shot in, you fucking took him down.
Yeah.
Like of course, because you're on the aggression and you have the control of the fight, right? Like you're dictating. So like all those instincts, like right, you trust them. So like I was like, you're fine. Like I know right now you're like, oh fuck, I'm about to fight. But I'm like, don't worry, once you go in there, it's just gonna feel like what we do. It's crazy. It's gonna feel exactly the same.
Yeah.
But you're gonna be super fucking sensitive, like hypersensitive to every little motion.
You were not wrong about that.
Yeah,
I could
right.
hear evereverything, yet hear nothing.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
weirdest way you
It's
could put it,
crazy.
man. Like
Crazy.
it's so weird, but it was pretty cool. Fuck, it's not till like honestly, like not till a little bit recently that I can start to like remember like a lot about that fight. Because I remember like after that fight was done, I was like, yo. I didn't believe I won.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
I just like what?
Yeah, it was. You were like a little bad when I saw you in the cage and shit. I'm like, because it was stopped and you like didn't know what happened. Like, dude, you won. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
over, man. Like, you just won the fight.
Well, I just remember him sitting on his stool, and you guys are like talking to me. I'm like, yo, shouldn't I be getting like iced down right now? Like, give me some water. Like, I need to get ready for the next round. Like, no, it's done. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But he's on his chair.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Crazy.
First fight stuff's always
First
crazy.
fight stuff.
Because you said you did like the wrestling stuff.
Yeah,
or
lots of
before.
wrestling stuff.
That's like
Yeah.
the closest you've had.
Yeah, like in recent time, that was the most like. That's the most relatable thing I could ever say. But
So I remember you saying you didn't want to ever do like a Tiger Bomb or whatever.
no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Like I grew up doing karate tournaments, and I was like, that's cool. And then like wrestling in high school is pretty badass, to be honest, because it's like you have to be like the toughest kid in like out of these high schools. But that was my opinion, right? Yeah, I was like the second toughest kid.
Yeah, you were telling me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, man, high school wrestling was a lot of fun, man.
We should do karate stuff, man. You should teach us karate stuff too.
You guys
I
get
just
so
want-
bored
I just
so
want
quick.
the flexibility. I want the flexibility and
Yeah.
the power. There's like certain, like even certain techniques that you just apply right away.
Yeah,
I'm
you know
like,
my step up roundhouse kick,
Yeah.
like off the
Yeah.
lead leg.
Yeah.
I think I could start teaching that,
Yeah.
but nobody in my Thursday class wants to learn that shit.
You could teach just straight MMA base, like off of like applying
Oh,
it to
yeah.
MMA. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Or kickboxing, whatever.
The only guys that I can see that would actually want to learn it is Saturday's like MMA class.
Yeah.
That's my honest
No,
opinion.
because that's just another tool, man. Like,
Yeah, it
that's
totally
it's
is.
just not like.
The best way that you explained it was I go like 1-2 step up lead kick, and you're like, yo, that's like Joey's 1-2-3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I go
Yeah.
1-2 step kick, and it's
Yeah.
like, whoa, that's a bit different.
Yeah, super easy for you to do.
Yeah, snap it.
No, I'd learn. I'd be down. I'd down to rip it out.
So we got one.
Yeah. Kurt's karate class.
Kurt's
Teach
karate
me.
class.
Let me bang, bro.
Let me back, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's personals?
Fuck, man. It really is living the dream.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the start of the dream.
It is.
But I want it so bad. I want it to be like my job.
Mm-hmm.
But it's super cool. This is my favorite part. I got one of my privates, Rakiba, on Reel. So we used to wrestle together on the high school team. She's a few years younger than me. But when she came to me, she didn't throw a punch. She just didn't know how to like do kickboxing, boxing. And I remember she was hitting me up like a few months before, like asked me lots of questions. But I was really happy to hear that she was asking me lots of questions because I could tell like I have her interest. Now that she's come in, it's like, in my opinion, she's gotten really fucking good.
Yeah.
And
She
now-
looks really
oh,
good
yeah.
when I see her. Yeah.
And that's your honest opinion, right? You're not
Oh,
just saying
100%.
that.
No.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and it makes me super happy because it's like, I feel like I'm building this fucking supercar. You know what I mean? Like, I'm putting all these things that I wish I was taught from the
That's
start.
what everybody. Yeah, dude. That's what
Yeah.
every instructor says, right?
Because
Like, you too, right?
that's what I mean. It's like you're getting like the revised version.
Yeah.
That's what he always says,
Right?
right?
Like you're getting this fucking.
You have to learn the hard way.
Yeah, you have to, yeah.
It's like the Spark
I
Notes.
actually got
Yeah.
fucking, like I can't explain. Like I told you how many times like
Yeah.
applying the shoulder roll, like my fucking shoulder roll, like
Yeah.
to get it to where it is, I had to catch so many kicks to the head and kicks to the leg on that side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To fucking be like, okay, yeah, like situational, but it works.
It makes me feel so good when he tells me in his upbringing, with like his training career, when he got caught with things.
Yeah.
Because then when I'm like, oh, okay, well at least he also did, which I know makes sense, and I should
Yeah.
expect that. But it just makes me feel better that like
Yeah.
you know, like it's kind of like I'd love to see when Floyd Mayweather like had a rough round or like all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like you know, with like some of the best, like they had their roughest round. Or like I can't remember when I watched like McGregor lose to some guy really early on, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't know. It's like really early on in his
Yeah.
career, but that was like along the path to him being great,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But because even like if I look at my stuff too, like I've only been like 2 years, I'd have to like take that into account
Yeah.
too and be like, okay, yeah, you're pretty good for just 2 years, I'd say. I guess
Yeah.
I don't know. That makes me feel better.
Yeah, I'm sure you get this a lot, but like with personals, like my other buddy, Stefan, I grew up with him actually. Like we did karate together as kids, and then we went to high school. He wrestled a little bit in high school and then in middle school, and then he started to see my videos. I think he saw my videos on Instagram and stuff.
Dude, we should start running ads, by the way.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
You should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he started hitting me up. He's like, hey, how much do you charge for personals? And I'm like, oh, this much. And he's like, okay, let's do it. And in my opinion, maybe he tried to like feel me out in the sense of like, okay, what's Joey about?
Mhm.
And after the first session, he's like, yo, like he even said, he's like, you know what you're talking about. Like, you showed me really good combinations. You showed me the basics, but like I'm actually able to apply the basics, like walking with punches. Like it's so underrated, but you need to know how to do that. And now he's like, yo, I'm doing that now.
Walking with punches.
Yeah, and he's just like, I'm doing that.
Even
all
the other day,
time
I was
now.
trying to like shadow box walking forward, like forward and backward.
Yeah.
And you realize how difficult it is because I'm mixing up different things, but like if
Yeah.
it takes a lot of different like techniques to learn it. Like, because you could just do the stepping.
Yeah.
But I want it to be more like.
Yeah.
You know,
Like fluid,
I have a new
you know what I
thing.
mean?
I gotta
Like-
tell you about that after. I'll talk about that after.
Are we
It's like
gonna
a new
learn
thing
this
for
class?
I wish we could, but it's too. Actually, we could do it, but it'd be hard to watch everyone. But it is it would be, but it'd be hard. Like it's like just moving forward, like weaving through that line. It's like dealing with.
I
long
asked you
guys.
about
Oh,
that.
Dealing
Yeah.
with long guys. Yeah.
We did that for my camp.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
it
it,
was like-
was it with the noodle though that I held?
Yeah, I think
straight?
so. And you just like move
Yeah,
forward
just,
on
like
these.
move forward on me and try
Yeah.
to find a way to my body, but and stick
Yeah.
tight. But
I think that would be good for Jay too, right? Because he already moves his head like that, but he should apply it more to like the jabs.
He moves his head like that very well, but then his legs don't move off. The
Yeah,
spot,
exactly, yeah.
Or he doesn't move off the line. His center of mass doesn't like.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
having your head off the center line is one thing, but then there's also your mass. Does your
Yeah.
whole mass come off the line?
Yeah.
That's where like a Hardeep, like when you Hardeep, it's fucking nuts because he has like a certain way to hit. That's why I don't bother him about footwork when it's not the way I show it and he
Yeah.
doesn't do it.
Yeah.
Is because like he just had, I can see it. Like I even told him like you don't like being planted. Like
Yeah.
you have a problem with like even step, but in the same area. Like let's say to do like a 3-4-3
Yeah.
or even a 4-3-4. You're there for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Unless even if you're sliding, you're like a constant moving target for a second. You know, you're
Yeah.
predictable for that 3-4-3.
Yeah.
But he likes to be only there for only 2 punches. Like,
Yeah.
pop, move.
Yeah.
Right? And then he's
Yeah.
like 2-3 move, right? Like angle.
That's a good way to put it too, because that is how he moves.
Right? It's
right?
like it's like with the rotation of the punch, he doesn't like come back to base and then shift.
No.
He moves with his punch.
He's
like,
already
actually.
gone.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
he'll move with the pivot of his punch.
Mhm.
And that's just something I picked up with him, like watching him on the first day. It's like you say, yeah, just after having enough reps and shit, you can see that stuff. Right? I'm like, he'll hit twice and be gone.
Yeah, he's a different animal.
Yeah.
He
But
really
it's like
is.
it's like super fun to like I'm just starting to like pick up more. You know, like I was telling you, like I'm picking up moves like the Kakashi thing. Like I'm copycatting like a
Sure,
bunch of
yeah.
moves into my
Yeah.
own game.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not like fully perfected,
Yeah.
obviously, because it takes a bit to like use the Sharingan and all that stuff. But I'm feeling the like styles, right? Like the Joey style, like I was saying, like hopping back and forth and like creating more space for yourself
Yeah.
by like. I don't even know what that's called. Like, what do you call that? Like jumping back and forth. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean?
You know what
Like-
I call that neutral.
oh, I call that neutral too, right?
Yeah,
But like other
like
guys,
neutral
neutral
movement.
is still like other
Yeah.
guys, neutral is just
Yeah.
standing
Just chilling,
there,
yeah.
right? And then also like Gio Hardip thing, where it's kind of like if he moves even a little bit, it's like that slip 2, right?
Yeah.
Slip 2 or like slip 3 or something like that,
Yeah.
right? Like just quick counter, like fade counter. And then I was trying to do the like Tyler one where you switch to south
Yeah.
and hook, but that means the guy has to be coming in really hard on you. You can't just pull that.
Yeah, he has to really dive in you.
Really
almost.
like
He has to be fully committed. You know what his version, like I feel like everyone has a weapon for that. Like if you come in at me with a hard 2. So if you did that to Tyler, he'd do that switch hook,
Yeah.
right? Mine, like a flick teep. You know what I mean? Like a front kick. Like
I'm
it's
using
not to
that more
push
now,
you.
yeah.
It's just to dig into
like
the
the
rib.
stab, right?
Yeah,
It's the
I'm just
stab.
trying to. I'm not trying to push you. I'm trying to end you
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Because you're coming forward
Yeah,
into the kick.
you're building that natural shelf for
Yeah.
me to catch you with. But
Yeah.
it's like I find that everybody has a weapon
Yeah.
to accommodate for that.
But it's because like right now that's what I'm trying all these
Yeah.
different styles,
What works for you?
right? And that's why like Hardy probably found this style from all the. Because I remember listening to his interview too, like watching Roy Jones, and you could see how that like that very hairpin kind of like trigger like boom,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Like that's probably where he got that from too. But you know, and then his moviness too. But anyway, so we should probably wrap up because we have class in like 4 minutes.
Perfect.
But we didn't. I know everybody was actually really hyped about that X-Men part. So I don't know. People were really looking forward to that. So I don't know if we have time for that, but maybe we'll save that for the next one.
Yeah.
Oh, just for the record, Josh is not Toad.
I already told him he's Toad. So.
Oh, you told him
Yeah,
he's Toad?
I had to tell him before he listened to the
Oh.
podcast. I don't think he's gonna listen to the podcast because he doesn't want to buy Spotify.
Oh.
I'm not telling him it's on YouTube though because I don't want him to get mad at me. But I had to bring it up to him. I was like, "Yo, man,
Fuck, sorry,
I'm just gonna
Josh.
tell you that I told the internet that you were Toad, even though your name's the Juggernaut.
Is he even called Toad? Is that even his real name?
It is now. His name's Josh.
No, I mean the character.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. That's been episode 4 of the Checkmat podcast.
Peace.